Mâtîrja, Mâtîrja, Galwayo. Mâtîrja, Mâtîrja, Galwayo. Mâtîrja, Mâtîrja, Galwayo. Mâtîrja, Mâtîrja, Galwayo.
Sweet sister, welcome on this beautiful journey in summer, and in this podcast, remembering her voice, a journey into feminine ancestral memory and wisdom. Before we start, I would love to light our candles. So we open the fields to connect between Portugal and England, England and Portugal, to connect between your home and my home, and to connect with a field that is even larger, our circle and the circle that is larger, that connects. Yeah, that connects bodies, dreams, silence, memory, wisdom, our conversation, our sharing. How do you feel about that? Do we light our candle to connect with that field?
Yeah, I feel great about that.
Beautiful. Let's go for it. Now, we open the space, we open this field for sharing, diving into the ancestral mothers who are calling us into ancient voices, into bringing wisdom back, to tuning into our relationship with the earth, asking our ancestors to be with us, asking the world above, the world below, and this world to be with us, asking, children to be with us, asking the field of the elements and the wind directions to be with us. Anything that you would like to add?
Those yet to come, our children and those yet to come to be with us.
Beautiful. Welcome. So for those who are listening for the first time, my name is Veerle Phara. And I'm really so happy in my heart to meet here with Ayla. We met years ago in Portugal during those, how would I say, those special times of Corona, COVID, when we held a concert of you in our temple, in the Temple of the Earth. I think we were about 60 people, something like that, right? It was even forbidding to gather with so many people, but we had something, oh no, Ayla is here. We're opening our space. Oh, I'm even touched by saying it, I feel. And I remember, that beautiful song that is still with me. Sometimes it still comes in ceremonies, Agua del Amor, with your beautiful baby boy singing in the beginning, making his noises, and then this amazing sounds that connects earth, sun, moon, all the elements. It's still a song that resonates a lot in my heart. Yeah, so welcome, Ayla. Welcome in this journey into feminine ancestral memory and wisdom. Would you like to say something about yourself to open space?
To say something about myself. My name is Ayla, and yeah, maybe I'd just be able to say, like, I bring myself here in this moment very much in the phase of my life as a mother with a young child, with a baby, 1-year-old baby and son, and just on that journey of initiation of the mother, knowing the feminine, being initiated by the archetype of the mother, which any mother will know it has the greatest beauty and the greatest challenges all bundled up into a big package of love and nappies and snuggles and milk.
Wow. It's so beautiful because yeah, I'm entering in this new phase of life, coming actually next week or almost 8/8. I'm entering my 60th year of life, and I could be a grandmother already, right? So I'm in this next phase of life, and wow, I can, yeah, it's like I can feel this connection between ages, between mothers, grandmothers, ancient mothers, ancestral mothers. Yeah, it's like both of us are walking that path, right? To connect between mothers and ancestral mothers. And that brings me to, yeah, maybe our theme for today, and the theme that we would love to dive into, which is connected to your new album. And I hope I say it right, Mâtîrja.
Yeah, there's no such thing as right because no one really knows how it would have been said.
Yeah.
So whatever comes is
Yeah.
yeah, Mâtîrja.
But the name, only hearing the name, it's not a name, it's like a sound, right? It feels like a sound. It's a word that means something, of course, but it's beyond a name. It's a sound. And when you listen to this song, it opens to something much deeper and deeper. So it's like when you listen to that song, it's like, okay, the ancestral mothers are calling us. Can you tell something about your new album?
Yeah, so as you say, the album is called Mâtîrja, which is a Proto-Celtic word, and the translation is can either be said mother line. Matir is mother, so you can hear
Yeah.
the connection to many of the European languages there. Mother, Mutter. I don't know how you say it in Dutch. I think it's similar, isn't it? And another translation can just be said as the ancestral mothers, so it's the mother line, the grandmothers, the ancient women stretching back to the beginning of time that are kind of held within that word, Mâtîrja. And yeah, there is a song on the album that is called that is called Mâtîrja. But I really felt like that that word kind of like holds the whole album, in the sense that many of these songs that are on the album came through in a time in these past few years when I moved back to England, onto Dartmoor, which is, for anyone who doesn't know Dartmoor, a very powerful, ancient, wild, as far as wild gets in England. It's it has a wild spirit. There is what wilderness here, but it's more like the wild feeling of the spirit of the land. And in my time living here, it opened up a chapter of really deeply connecting to my lineage and the ancient ones of this land and the ancient ones of my ancestry. And this just became a big part of my path after so many years of traveling different countries and learning from different traditions and different cultures, and feeling this kind of thirst inside of myself, like a longing for something that I don't know exactly what, like this barrenness in myself that I needed to kind of, like barren earth that was just thirsty for something, some remembering, some connection. I'm sure we all know this feeling, this longing, this looking, this find, and the ways that we find it also in many unexpected corners. And coming back here was really like, this balm to that part of myself that had been searching for some sense of belonging and connection. Maybe that's a way of saying it, like a connection and remembering of something that I could really feel I belonged to, which I wasn't able to find when I went to other lands far away. I mean, I found connection there. I found so much inspiration and so much nourishment and such medicine, but always felt like, but I don't really belong. Until living here. So these songs that are on this album, come from my human journey of praying and calling to and letting go of, and all the processes of remembering and finding belonging and leaning into the grandmothers has just been such a big theme for me since living here. The grandmothers, the wise and well, ancient ones, and my deep journey of kind of learning again, which I'm still on, learning to see with my ancient eyes and hear with my ancient ears and feel with my ancient heart the grandmothers and the grandfathers. And album kind of is that in sound and in song.
Well, when you're speaking, I can feel like my belly. I'm even holding my hands to my belly, and it's like, okay, I feel like two paths interweaving. And one is those words, remembering and belonging. It's like they are connecting with each other. I have always loved the word remembering. It's really to become a member again of something, a tribe, a land, but in the deeper layers of yourself, right? That's what remembering is. To remember is to become a member again of yourself in the first place. Because it's only when we become a member of ourselves again that we have that sense of belonging. I know that very well. I've traveled the world. I've lived in many countries, and even in my 60th year of life, I'm still feeling like, what is this sense of belonging? Where do we really belong? And not only in space or in the stars or in heaven, but really on earth. Where do we belong? And where on earth do we feel that the land resonates with who we are, I am, you are, and vice versa? So I would love to tune into that a moment. But before I forget, what also comes is this grandmother, ancestral mother, and we are sitting here. We just had a little moment to share about her. Beautiful painting created by an artist in Pisac in the Sacred Valley, also so known to you. You've been there. And he painted this beautiful women elder with her kinto. And a kinto, for those who don't know it, is a a prayer to the lower world, to the upper world, and to this world. And that's exactly what I feel in many of your songs, but in this album, I can feel it even more. It's like a prayer. So I would love to tune into these two aspects, two paths a moment. So the energy of remembering and belonging, and your songs as a prayer. You choose where it starts.
Yeah, let's go with the remembering and belonging. I feel we're on that.
What do we need to remember? What do you wish to remember? Or what do you wish that we remember by listening to your songs?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess the first thing that comes is it's difficult to answer this question in words because it feels like the answer itself is not something that words can capture. It's that feeling and that place and that truth and that knowing that lives deeply inside of us, and that we are made of, that we are this connection. I get, yeah, like get this sense of connecting to the greater web of life and the greater web of creation that we are just a little tiny part of. And I guess when I think about the world and all the crazy horrific things that are going on in this world that are man-made, human-made, the immense suffering on so many levels, human, plant, animal, water, elements, it's just like intense times that we're in. And I would hope that this album, that my songs can be part of remembering our place within our web and remembering our belonging. It really is like the remembering leads to the belonging, because I feel that when we know that we belong to life itself, and we belong to the water and belong to the earth and belong to the trees and belong to the rocks, instead of all of this belonging to us, this concept, this human concept that we have of like the idea of belonging, like ownership. You could kind of translate the patriarchal concept of belonging is like mine, I own it, it's my thing to do something with and make money with. When we kind of completely break that down and like lean back into that web and lean back into that sense of belonging to this life itself, I feel that shifts so much our relationship with everything would change, or it changes. And when our relationship to the whole of this existence changes from a kind of this is mine to turn into a product and to turn into something sellable and to use and exploit and but like, wow, I belong to this and I'm being held by this, and without this I don't exist. This is the absolute foundation to my own heart beating and to my body and to my blood. Then we will walk in a different way on this earth. Then we cannot harm anymore in all the ways that we harm. I feel like there's the remembering opens up or invites a whole different way of being that I imagine is how the ancient ones would have lived their lives, the truths that they would have known, that would have been so inherently part of the way that they lived in every little thing that they did. You know, I just imagine, and we see this, like that was something when I was in peace, like that I was so touched when I went up. I spent a little bit of time just in the fields with the mum eaters harvesting the corn in their little huts with their guinea pigs on the floor, and you know, to see how they make their offerings all the time, how they go and offer to the corn before they harvest it, and how they like living. It's just normal, isn't it, to live in that sense of prayer and reverence and honor and acknowledging this mysterious interdependent relationship with
Mm.
the living world. And that, like, yeah, to remember, like, back or that wisdom, to bring that into our bodies and allow that to be a guidance and
Mm.
instruction for how to be human in this time and how to live our life as an offering, and how to live in reciprocity. And I mean, there's so much we could say about this.
Well, yes, but it's really you know, in coming back to her, it's the Aini, yeah? In the Andes we call it the Aini. It's the reciprocity. It's the giving and receiving in balance, and that is actually the way to keep the web of life, the mycelium of the earth, in balance. But it's very subtle. Huh? It's not about offering. Your songs are an offering to the earth. It's an offer to restore the ancient web. That's what I feel in this album. It's an offer to support in restoring the mycelium of life, the mycelium of the earth, and the mycelium of the earth is connected with the cosmos. It's all one. And when you say, and we belong to the earth, we belong to breath, we belong to breath, that also came. We belong to this. It's actually the first breath of creation when we start remembering that, and that we are part of this breath of creation, then everything starts to change. It's not that we own creation or that we own our breath, but we are part of this first breath of creation. Yeah, I'm writing my fourth book about that. So it resonates so much, this yeah, when you speak those words, yeah, komanu, komanu, you sing them, komanu, 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 komanu. It's like I always can feel that something is extending below the earth and something is restoring inside the earth, and through the restoring inside the earth, also in ourselves and in humanity. Yeah, so beautiful. Beautiful word also, komanu. Yeah, to remember.
You know what this means?
Kom-
Komano means
Yeah,
we remember.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And actually, when you talk about giving an offer, whether it's a physical offer or a prayer or a song or a poem or some words, it is a prayer, right? It's a prayer. Your songs are also a prayer to remember and to restore that web of life, the mycelium in the earth connected with the cosmos. Mm.
Mm.
You can, yeah. What is this a prayer for you, Ayla? And how are your songs praying?
Yes, it's making me contemplate, you know, how would we define prayer? If someone was to ask, like, what do you mean? What does that actually mean, a
Mhm.
prayer? And I feel that's perhaps something I need longer to contemplate. That feels quite um I know, like, the sense of, I've contemplated this before, of like what do I feel when, if I pray to something, what, you know, what, how would I define that? And it's often led me to, like, just being in sacred conversation with something, you know, from spirit to spirit conversation. Actually quite simple. Like, that definition feels quite simple. It doesn't need a lot. It's like I can pray to the water and I'm just sitting and I'm speaking with the water. For me, that's prayer.
Mm.
Something, I guess, about like the essence of it coming from, where it's coming from and where it's going to. It's a language, it's a way that feels of the spirit, from the spirit and to the spirit. And like that, if I relate that to the songs, yes, I often pray not singing as well. I love to pray not singing. You know, they're like two different rivers, aren't they? They both have their different power. They have their different kind of way that they move through us and out of us, and perhaps their different way that they're received as well. But the songs, I guess that's the place I go to when I can't find the words, or when the words are not feeling like it's touching the expression, or when something's needs like moving inside of me, and that the music, the sounds of the music, that language of music, yeah, it feels like it's a medicine for myself first. Like the songs are offerings, the prayers are offerings, and like more and more I kind of really sing with that intention as well, like for it to be an offering to life. But often it's an offering really to me who needs it in that moment. You know, the prayer is like almost from my spirit to my spirit or something, you know, like in its own I-ness within my own being. Yeah.
Do you feel they're born from a specific place in your body, or it's more a flow that goes through? The songs are born from, or is it more a flow that comes through you? Because I know you've offered also, I don't really like the workshops, rituals for women, initiation for women, where you really work with the womb, for example.
Oh, I love this question.
Mm-hmm.
The work, my womb work, it's again an example of like, it's an offering that I bring to the world, but it's actually because it's something that I feel I really long to know and embody. So medicine for myself, first and foremost, this to sing, not even to sing, it's like to live from the womb, you know, to be, to exist from the womb space. Maybe even better to say it like that, you know, just from the pelvis, from the root, which I feel is so related to the earth and the kind of grandmother primordial energy that exists, that our womb space is a portal of. And so yes, it's the body, but I feel it's deeper than that. I feel it's like our root as women are kind of tapping into the source, the mother, the great mother. And that is an ongoing journey, I feel, of disconnecting and reconnecting and disconnecting and reconnecting. Is so strong, isn't it, as women? The current that our whole world and our whole lives did to kind of pull us away from being deeply in our bodies and deeply in our power as women. And also what came to me as you asked that question, like, is there a place for my body that I sing from it, or is it more like a force that comes through? It's somehow it's both. I'm connecting more with this understanding of Awen that the Druids, the Celtic Druids, speak about, and yeah, more kind of experimenting more intentionally with that feeling. So anyone who doesn't know about Awen, is they speak of Awen as the kind of source of divine inspiration and creative energy that exists in this universe, that we can open ourselves up to as vessels and as channels for this, like a river. They kind of speak about it like the energy is like it moves and it flows and it runs, so we can open ourselves up to Arwen to pass through us. And I'm sure we all have had moments in our life where we experience this. I don't think it's about being a musician or a singer, or it's just like the spark of inspiration that can come, even I feel, if we just watch a beautiful sunset and like we feel this amazing oneness and this kind of energy that can come through, whether it's a song or whether it's just a like sense of awe, and then that might become inspiration into something that we paint or we draw or we dance or we sing or some creative force. And alongside experimenting with this, I'm also finding myself feeling more resonant with the idea of being a vessel, not by getting out of myself, not by disassociating. It can be easy to say, like, get out the way. I get out the way so that this force can come through, but I'm feeling it more like I get in the way. I come in more deeply into myself, and then that's again kind of comes back to the womb, like dropping even more fully into my body and in my spirit and my heart. And that feels like a more powerful way to be a vessel, to be embodied by my own spirit and by the forces beyond myself.
Oh, wow. This is it's like my whole body is trembling when I listen to that. Do you feel that having giving birth twice, that being connected to this immense field of possibilities that I feel that our womb is, it's connected. I also call it, for me, it's like the black sun. I wrote a whole book about that. It's the infinite field of possibilities, is the source. So do you feel that since you've carried them in your womb and giving birth, that your connection with the womb has grown stronger? Do you feel that? And the songs that are born also? Or has it always been that way?
It feels not a black and white answer, actually. As you ask me that, I get a sense of kind of like the waves and the chapters and the different moments.
Yeah, and that flow that you talk about, that flow of creative energy, being in your way, in your medicine, that, yeah. And from there, what's born from there.
And giving birth, like being such an example of similar to the Arwen, although what comes through in birth is kind of like Arwen, but it's also like the power of what comes through the mother, the great mother, force. But what I certainly experienced, like in my first birth, it was really hard for me to come in my body. My trauma programming made me just trying to leave. I was leaving, disassociating, and that taught me so much, because it was like the force couldn't like really flow through me, because it needed me to be here, like, all right, calm. And there I was, kind of, going, there was such a long labor, and I was like really disassociated and leaving my body, until finally I kind of was able to just be here, and then the power could really flow through. And in my second birth, yeah, it was a very different experience. Like I was able to really just much more easily surrender and be with the immensity of the sensations, which include, pain, how that umbrella of pain, which I learned we can experience, is not, I wouldn't have called it pain, but it's not it's not an easy sensation.
Yeah.
And just in answer to what you said of like, do I feel giving birth has brought me like more in my body or more in my womb? What I can say is my first child coming here triggered such a massive healing crisis and journey and reparation in my own being. And it was so much about learning to just actually be here in my body and feel safe, and to regulate, and to be able to just find that safety inhabited in my own body. So that's why I kind of go, it's like not a black and white answer, because it wasn't just like, oh, I've given birth and like, wow, now I can be here in my body. It was like I gave birth and I received such powerful medicine from giving birth and from having a child, and that mirror and that dynamic, that it's like called me home into my body, kind of forced through the crisis that I was in, with chronic fatigue and really dark places that I went in my being and my mind and my body. It was rough time. And that's like, that's the mystery and the medicine of life, I guess. It's like has brought me deeper into my body, my womb, in an unexpected, undirect way.
So I feel here that there's also a message to other women. It's not about giving birth, right? It's about this connection with this womb, with our womb, whether it's energetically or biologically. That doesn't really matter, but being able to connect with that womb, and the womb being connected with that space of Awen, as you call it, with that full creation, that flow of energy that can come to you. That is something, actually it is something beyond words, right? It's beyond word. And I also feel that exactly that being in the body, in the womb, in ourselves, in our heart, can support each one of us to tap into that field of creativity, of creation, and to tap into the field of our own medicine. So having gone through that yourself as an artist, as a singer, as a mother, as someone who brings her songs, and much more than songs, to the world, through having found this deep medicine inside you, I feel it can inspire other women also in tapping into their own medicine. That's what's coming true, and I hear you, I feel you speaking.
Yeah, and there's something, as I'm listening to you, there's really something about like our humanness and our human experience, which can involve often and mostly very difficult times and very difficult things that we go through as humans. Something about that being this medicine to come really into our power, instead of, I know that I have certainly felt along my way of like, oh, I'm not, like evolved enough, or I'm not spiritual enough or something, because I feel I've got so much human shit to kind of go through, and I feel so pulled in by my humanness and the difficult feelings and the trauma, and you know, some picture that I've painted or has been painted to me culturally, or I don't know, different spiritual pathways that maybe are not so much working with the kind of human raw shit. No, which is maybe perhaps just a different route, but it certainly hasn't been my route or my experience in this life. And for me, has been something very, very beautiful to kind of embrace my raw humanness as the gift and the medicine for me, the shadow that is the doorway to that deeper power that is beyond our humanness as well. And again, it comes back to what I said, like we can open ourselves up to these divine forces by actually just coming more into the holiness of the human experience. It is so profound and so holy and so rich for creativity. I mean, like, look at the art that has come from the human messiness, you know, messiness, whatever we call it. I mean, we were made to be this, we were made to feel these things somehow, and to alchemize them and to turn them into prayer and offering and creativity. And
we all come from that in the end, right? It's the source, this let's, if we look to the black hole, to the source, it's an infinite field of chaos. It's chaos. We're all born from the chaos. And I mean, from the universe, but also when a woman gives birth naturally, I mean, we are all born from that raw, dark, fleshy, bloody, instinctive energy. In the end, we're all born from that. I always call it the constructive dark feminine. We're so afraid of it, and at the same time, we're all born from that. So, what are we afraid of? I sometimes feel or think, what are we afraid of? Because we're born from that. I mean, we all come from that. And as you say, when we remember that aspect, the raw, fierce, fiery, instinctive, intuitive aspect of ourselves, we remember ourselves, we can become whole again. It's bringing that wisdom back. It's so important to bring that wisdom back, because we can never become whole if we only, you know, open our arms up to the sky and think that the diamonds and the gemstones are falling from the sky. You know, it's like down there in the earth, the womb of the earth, the roots. You use that word also. The roots, that what is forgotten, bringing that back into ourselves to become whole. We've been cut off so long. It was all about opening here, and we forgot to open to the earth. And that is what is remembering. And that is also, I feel, what your new album brings us back to. And yeah, when I hear you speaking and adding this raw energy from the earth, it's like I feel a web weaving. I feel something weaving. I feel the midwives. I feel I even can feel the earth, laughing, smiling. I can feel something moving down there. I can feel the roots, and I can feel the word integrity. Yeah, it's like all weaving together, like our braids, right? The mycelium of the earth, something weaving back into place. We need time, but this whole album and it's like a support to that. Yeah, that's what I feel. Yeah. And even more, the sounds. It's the sounds mostly that do that. It's not only the words, it's beyond the words, it's the sounds that do that. And many ancient languages have that, right? They have sounds that so beautiful that we're also remembering those ancient languages because they bring something back that we've forgotten. They were so long by colonization, by patriarchy, by church, pushed away, even forbidden. They were a lot forbidden. Yeah. Yeah, it's like using a Celtic image of this, what's he called again? I forgot it. It's the one who killed the dragon. What's it called again? Oh, he's on his horse and he kills the dragon. It's like, doesn't matter. Did you know that image, no? Of this missionary, this colonizer killing the dragon. Yeah.
George, was it St. George?
Yeah, I think it was St. George. Yeah. So it's okay, let's open back to, because it's still there. It's not forgotten. It's still there. Yeah. Bringing that back to us. Was more interrupted, I feel, right? It was more hidden, interrupted, and speaking about it, making those sounds, creating those songs. It's like, okay, what is coming back? What is coming back? What is coming back?
Yeah, I really feel that when you say it was interrupted. It wasn't lost. It was like, okay, we'll just go under the earth, and there was a need for it to be hidden. There was such a need, to really acknowledge what happened in Europe with the Inquisition and the witch hunt, and how dangerous it would have been to be someone carrying any kind of wisdom and knowledge and power of the earth or of themselves or of the spirit, or to be singing these songs and to be praying to nature. Like you say, it was, the languages were forbidden in brutal ways. They weren't just forbidden. I think it was, like brutal what has happened in these lands, but also in so many countries. They take away the songs, they take away the dances, and they take away the language because they know that's how to kind of sever the root and the connection. But it's a bit like, I see this image like, okay, you can cut the plant from its roots, but like you can't really pull the root out. Like the root will stay there, and if it's given the right water and the right tending to, and if people come to be available, the root will grow. And this is the times that we're in, isn't it? Like the human beings who are going like, the roots, we know they're here, we water them, we dig, we show up, and they're growing again. And sure, it will be in its own way. The songs will have changed a little bit, and like how I sing in this Proto-Celtic language, we don't know exactly how it was spoken, so it won't be what it was. It's not that the plant will grow exactly how it was before, but I guess it shouldn't need to be before. It's that how it was before was relevant for those times, and what was needed in those times, what is needed now, is is something unique to this moment. But it's, for me, is I have to lean a lot into that feeling of like, okay, yes, we have lost a lot. Like, to not be kind of overly optimistic to the point of like naive, like we have lost so much, so
Mhm.
much has been destroyed and desecrated, but it doesn't mean our connection to the source, our capacity to remember, like the origins of that word, like to actually put back together, to kind of revive and reclaim and bring something that was before into the here and the now in its new form. I feel there's both. There's the grieving that's needed of all that has been lost and destroyed. Like that feels such an important part of the reviving and the reclaiming and the honoring of of what people went through and the immensity of what people are still going through.
Mm.
That gives the power to bringing through what is needed now. I certainly have experienced like the grieving that I have done when I go there with my heart open, looking for those threads and reaching out to the grandmothers and feeling like there's so much there that needs to be grieved, and feel that they're asking for that as well, like all the grief that couldn't happen in those times because people were just terrified for their life and had to shut it down and lock themselves up in order to survive, and had to bury the bundles and bury the wisdom, knowing that we would come
Mm.
again in these times and we would do the work that couldn't be done because it wasn't possible in that moment, and we would remember and we would dig up those prayers and relight the fires and sing the songs again. It's a
Mm.
big work, and there's a great shadow there that needs to be
Mm.
um, felt very carefully. Yeah.
Mm. Breathing together, right? As women did before. And then also, and at the same time, bringing in back the joy. Because if we only stay with the grief, we're repeating also. We're repeating the witches, we're repeating what has been done, we repeat the manipulation, the sacrifices. So it's also, it's and, right? It's also bringing back the joy. Because by remembering, we bring back joy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, remembering, I have that each time when we're in ceremony and song or sounds come from deep inside the earth, like, and everything opens. There is a lot of joy also that comes back. Because our bodies have grieved a lot, especially for all the people who have done the work, years and years and years and years and years. It's like, oh, and there is also joy that we need to remember. The joy of creation, the joy of life force coming back. I know
Mm.
you have struggled with that also. And I think many women have struggled with lack of life force because we've been cut off of the earth so long. It's logical. I mean, especially women, if they've been cut off from the earth, that's where our life force is. We have a navel string to the cosmos, but we also have this umbilical cord towards the earth. How's your life force now, Ayla? How are you now? Yeah. And also maybe where's your source to find some life force back? Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly no longer carry the story that I'm unwell
Mm.
like I did for a few years.
Mhm.
I have this thing that means something wrong, like chronic fatigue. It's a kind of felt it a bit like walking around with a cloud upon my head, being identified. And this, this is a big challenge when you have something major going on with your physical body, with your health, or even mentally. It doesn't have to just be physical, but there's the process of like identifying what's going on and kind of naming it. That for me felt an important part of the healing process, to be able to kind of be like, okay, I'm not just a tired mummy. Like there's something serious going on here. Chronic fatigue, umbrella, label.
Mm-hmm.
Then I could kind of take it seriously, and I felt like other people could also take it seriously. But it's very dangerous to get a bit stuck in this, like, oh, I have this thing and I'm kind of weighed down by this. I no longer carry that as my identity. I do, however, carry the things that I had to learn, ways of being and ways of respecting myself and learning my limits and my capacity. I certainly don't feel like there are some people who just are like kind of rockets and they seem to have so much life force available. I wouldn't say I'm one of those people. Like I still see my system is delicate, and I feel that's a wiring from very, very young, the trauma programming, my my nervous system, and but I think a big correlation for me is like being in nature and being connected to the earth, being connected to the elements, and the kind of flow of life force that I feel. That's really fundamental for me to yeah, live with the land.
Is there something else you would like to share, to sing, or to express, to bring in this sharing together?
Yeah, just for this moment, kind of feeling the grandmothers with us. Grandmothers who are behind each one of us, and to even imagine like a conversation like this in certain times on this earth would have come with the kind of the threat of death. To even speak of such things would be sin, and would be a very dangerous thing to do. And just kind of acknowledging that, I feel in this moment that we are in a time of liberation, more and more and more liberation. And even though it feels like also at the same time a time of kind of such suffocation and restriction, but it's touched me what you said, like we must also remember the joy and feed the joy, and know that like our true grieving, because I believe that there's depression, and depression isn't grieving. Like real grieving that's moving and alchemizing, like the joy is part of that. There's so much beautiful poetry in there. The Kahil Gibran, this whole section where he speaks of sorrow, your joy is your sorrow unmasked, and how the joy and the sorrow, they share the same bed. There's the heart beats, the two chambers of the heart, joy and sorrow. And yeah, just kind of feeling this like movement that we've made in the conversation of like covering so much of the terrain, and like lifting us into this yeah, it comes back to the grandmother, like the prayer, that the sopla that then goes from our humanness, and the prayer of the grandmothers for us to have the courage, the great courage that I feel it takes to say like, yeah, I'll be one of the daughters who carry this prayer onwards, and I'll feel all of that, and bring it through in my offering, and I'll find what my offering is in this time, which probably for all of us is ever unfolding, isn't it? I hear that from you a lot every time I speak with you, how there's some new amazing offering that you're working on, whether it's your books or whether it's your travels and the people that you work with, how we're always being called onwards and forwards and connected.
Connected, yeah. That's because also we've done years and years and years and years of healing work, ancestors, and again and again and again and again and again. And at a certain moment, I also had to turn a key, and that key is really exactly what you say. Sorrow, grief, pain, trauma, wound, and joy, creation, life force, art, music, singing. It's like I would almost love to invite all the women and even the men, brothers, sisters, tribe listening at the moment to feel, okay, feel on one hand the ancestor standing behind you, your biological ancestor standing behind your back, standing there all the way back, and all that you as a soul decided to bring to earth, to take from these biological lineages and to heal and to transform and to embrace and to pray for and offer all the sacrifice. So really feel it, and then at the end feeling, okay, I have an ancestral soul mother and I have an ancestral soul father. They are my soul, right? They are my source. They are the ones who are connected with my soul, and they are pure joy. They are pure, they're authentic, they're genuine, they're joy. And then feeling all the way through these biological lineages, their voices, their ancient voice coming through, them calling you and saying it's and yes, you choose as a soul to come on earth and connect with all these ancestral biological lineages, and you are here as a soul. And this process will go on and 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 on. It will go on because there's so much to heal, so much to grieve for, so much to transform. And at the same time, okay, let's open this DNA and these cells and this heart for joy, for creation and for light force and for that what our medicine. That's it. For our medicine, true medicine. Take a deep breath in that. And then honoring beings as you, Ayla, who made that journey. Made that journey. It's and. Knowing that there will always be something to grieve for. And it's good. And at the same time, it's not limiting, or better say, it's opening. It's opening and opening and opening and opening. Breathing. Right? Breathing. And daring to jump, daring to take that next step, daring to feel where we belong. We're back to the beginning, feeling to what belongs to what we need to. Wow. Ayla, I would really love you to feel in a moment this end of the journey. Is there a sound you wish to make, a message you wish to give, so that we feel, okay, this mycelium, this web of light that we created together here today, it's like, okay, it's never finished, but this cycle is like making a circle so it can flow into the world.
Maybe a song.
Mm-hmm. I was
I don't
hoping for
know.
that.
Because since my baby's born, I don't have the time and space to sit and write songs with the guitar anymore. So I have a lot of these little chants coming through as I walk around the forest and stuff. So one about belonging. Let's see. Rhythm of the ancient ones beating through me, the sound of belonging resounding from the earth, song of the wild ones singing through me, the sound of remembrance resounding from my heart. You belong here, belong just as you are. You carry the wisdom and memory of the stars. You belong here, remember your worth. You carry the wisdom and memory of the earth. Rhythm of the ancient ones beating through me, the sound of belonging resounding from the earth, song of the wild ones singing through me, the sound of remembrance resounding from my heart. You belong here, belong just as you are. You carry the memory and wisdom of the stars. You belong here, remember your worth. You carry the memory and wisdom of the earth.
Thank you, Amy. Gratitude. Before we close, while taking a deep breath. So people can find you on your website. I'll add this. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ayla.
Thank you, Phara.
Closing with the wisdom of the earth. Remembering, belonging, weaving the web. Thanking this beautiful field surrounding us, of ancestral mothers. Sending our smoke as a prayer into the earth. Mine is lots of smoke. Thank you, Ayla.
Mâtîrja,